Yes, so if you write plenty things, your CV will not be appealing. Now, you need to use consistent formatting. And so if you are going to use one particular type of font, make sure you are using that font. Yesterday I mentioned about dates. If you are using a particular set of dates, please make sure you are consistent with that format. Now, in terms of the margins, you can use 1 inch, and the spacing as well. You can maintain the 1 inch spacing in Word. Now, you are not supposed to use fancy fonts. Fancy fonts, those stylish fonts. This one, you are not doing design and making. And so please avoid using stylish fonts and use the formal fonts we know. You can use Times New Roman, which is fine. You can use Calibri to write your CV. Another thing that makes a CV stand out is what is called headers. Yesterday I mentioned them. That before you talk about your education, you must title it like you're going to talk about education. Now that header should be very distinct. So you can choose to underline the header to make it distinct. Some people can choose to add a bit of color. So you can use a low color, not a very conspicuous color, like something like blue to color the headings. Some people, I choose to underline mine and bolding it so that it stands out. Some people can use a little larger font for those headings so that it stands out for them. And so please, the important thing is that your headers stand out. They are clear so that we know that it is about education or work experience that you are talking about. Now, apart from the look or the layout and the organization, you should request for certificate when you volunteer or attend seminars. Now, if you remember the 3 factors that produces a winning CV, I mentioned that you should develop yourself. Developing yourself means that you are volunteering, you are attending seminars, you are taking online courses. Now, if you are attending seminars or if you are volunteering, then please request for certificates so that you can cite them on your CV. If you cite things on your CV and you don't have certificates for it, sometimes it makes it difficult to prove and it makes it difficult for you to write on your CV. Sometimes you may not get a certificate, but if you took pictures, that can also be a sort of evidence. And so if you have pictures of the volunteering or the seminar you attended, you can still go ahead and then write it, even if you don't have the certificate. But there should be something as a form of evidence. If you don't have anything to defend the fact that you attended the seminar, please do not write it. Make sure you take pictures when you attend seminars, or at least have a certificate or something about the seminar in such a way that you can always refer people to it when you cite them on your CV. Another important thing is proofreading. You see, the CV I showed you today was started, I drafted it way back in 10 years. That was very, very long time. And when I'm free and I'm on my CV and I don't have anything to do, what I do is I just go through, read it again, and sometimes you see some spelling mistakes. Sometimes you see where you're supposed to bring a comma that you didn't bring. Sometimes there's a particular word that you can just change that word and put another word. Sometimes you can tweak the sentence. As you are going back to read it, you can get an appropriate sentence for all the things you have written. And so it means that you need to always review your CV from time to time and make sure you check for spelling, you check for punctuation, you check for grammar and meaning. I've always told you that if I see your CV, just 1-page document or 2-page document, and I'm seeing a lot of typos on it, what it communicates to the person reading your CV is that you are not a serious person. You don't have time for even yourself. You don't pay attention to details. And so it speaks bad about you. And so make sure that you don't have a lot of spelling mistakes, typos, where to punctuate, right punctuations, and all that. You see, I've been reading CVs, and I must be frank with all of you that sometimes they are so glaring mistakes that sometimes I wonder if you wrote a CV in a rush. It should not be the situation. And I'll be talking about that one as well. So please make sure you proofread it and check for all those errors. The CV can be 1 page, But if they are clear of these kind of errors, then you have a higher chance of getting a very good CV. Now, sometimes you can be looking at the same document over and over again, but you yourself will not be able to pick out certain errors on your CV. And so it is appropriate for you to share your CV with someone you can trust. Me, I don't trust all of you, so I'll not share my CV with you. The last time I did that, when I shared my CV with some of you, the person wrote his CV back for review, and I could see my CV on his CV, almost copying everything. And so for me, I don't like sharing my CV with the entire document with you. I've stopped doing that. I don't do that again because I've seen that many of you copy what is on my CV and bring it back to me for me to review. And that is bad. You don't need to be doing that. But you can get someone you trust for the person to review it for you so that some of these minor errors can be corrected, even when you don't see it yourself. Now, another way to also produce a winning CV is for you to look at the CVs of employees or faculty members of where you are applying. So, for instance, if you are here and you are applying to a school, let's say you want to apply to Harvard, you want to go to Harvard, and you happen to have someone like a senior colleague in Harvard, or you happen to get to know of someone in Harvard, you can take the person's CV and look at the CV he submitted before he got admission and make sure that your CV looks like something like that so that you can also get it. If you are going to apply to a job, let me say Ghana Water Company, and you happen by chance that you know someone in that company or a similar company, you can request for that person who is already employed CV and look at how the person's CV looks like so that you can also fit your CV for it to look like the person. And so please don't be shy. Some people will be eager to share their CVs with you. Others will not be willing to share with you. Me, if I don't trust you, I'll not share it with you. But some people will be eager to share with you if you are close with the person, and they will just only want you not to share it with any other person. And so please, if you get that chance, please request for the CV and then make sure your CV also looks like that, like the company of the that you intend to apply to, so that you don't submit anything at all. Now, this is very important, and I have to stress it. Sometimes you stress it, they will come back and it's the same. On your CV at the top, yesterday, or even my CV I showed you, the top, the heading, what should be conspicuous, what should stand out there among all the other things on your CV is your name. Now, many of you are fond of writing curriculum vitae on your CV to let us know that the document you have is a CV. See, if you see a lady, the features of a lady tells you that this is a lady. If you see a guy, the features of a guy tells you that this is a guy. It is not about the person writing something on him to say I am a boy before you can see that this is a boy. Because CV has a format. If you have a CV there, whoever knows what it is knows that it is a CV. And so please, I'm very particular about this because about 80% of the CVs I review, they come and the first thing you see at the top of that document is curriculum vitae. You don't need to write that at the top. The significant thing on your CV at the top should be your name, and then your contact address then follows. So please do not write at the top curriculum vitae. It does not add anything to your CV. In fact, it is bad. Don't do that. Now, the second point is also very important to me. You see, these days, most applications are done online. Hardly, sometimes you are in Kumasi and you're applying for a job in Accra. You don't take care to submit your CV. They will provide an email for you to submit your CV. And that's why some time ago we did how to write. That one too, some of you are still not getting it. I don't know why. Sometimes when I'm responding to your emails, I do that professionally so that I want you to learn. But unfortunately, when you're also writing back to me, you use the informal means and you send it anyhow. I don't know whether it's because you don't have time, but I'm hoping that we change. Now, most applications these days are done through emails or another medium, but often they are online other than going there to submit your CV in person. Now, many of you, when you are done creating your CV, you save your CV as my CV. Now, supposing all of us, we are 21 here, all of us save our CV as my CV, and all of us send our CVs to you on one PC or in one folder. You have my PC, my PC, my PC, my PC, my PC. You see, it does not single out any one of you. But your CV, when it is saved with your name, the moment I go into that folder, I know that this is Abdallah's CV. Unfortunately, I don't know whether we find it difficult to learn. Sometimes when I'm sending your CV back to you, I even name it with your name. But after you have made the corrections you are sending it back to me, then you change it back to my CV again. So that all the work I did previously, they go waste. So please desist from saving your CV with the word my CV or any other thing apart from your name. Your CV and all your personal documents should be saved with your name. You can go like Hayford Adabo underscore CV. So that the moment the person downloads the thing from online and it's on the person's PC, all the time he knows that even before opening the document, the person has seen your name. Even before you open the CV to look at your name on top of your CV, the person can get your name even from the way you have saved your CV. So this 1 and 2 points, first and second point, they are very important to me. Please let's take note of that so that we don't repeat some of these little or minor mistakes. The third one is templates. Now, in fact, that is why I didn't include it in my lesson. Templates are already created document which allows you to insert your personal details to have a CV. Now, the commonest one or the most preferred one is the europass.com. When you go to europass.com, it's an online site. It asks you to insert your name, your date of birth. Then when you finish it, when you are done, it produces your CV for you. Now, it is fine if you are beginning to write a CV. It is very fine. That is how I learned how to write a CV. The first CV I had was with Europass. You can go to europass.com and you have access to that thing. And in fact, that not only that, there are a number of CV templates out there online, and I know some of you use those things. Now you can see that I say I don't encourage, and this is my reason. The reason I don't encourage templates is simple. For instance, if you use Europass to create your CV, the output of that CV is often in PDF. And now when you want to copy the PDF into Word so that from time to time you can update it or you can upgrade it, the formatting is so fixed that it becomes very rigid for you to format it again. And then it begins to make your CV very disorganized. And this I've experienced it several times. And those of you who use templates, you attest to it. So sometimes you want to shift something, but because they have made it a fixed format, you are unable to push it further. And that is why I don't encourage templates. And so please learn how to use Microsoft Word. I know all of you, if you are supposed to submit your CVs for review today, I will see Microsoft Office as part of your, how do I call it, your computer skills. Please learn how to use it very well. There are a lot of features in Microsoft Word which you need to learn to make your CV very fine. The session is not about that, but if you want me to help you, maybe I can find some time to show you certain things in Microsoft Word that will help you produce a very neat CV. How to underline, how to put in, how to shift, how to reduce the spacing among them. Sometimes you can even take away the spacing and all that. So please learn how to use Microsoft Office very well so that you start on a blank. I encourage that. Start on a blank sheet, a blank Word document, and that is perfect. And so I don't encourage the use of templates because it's often fixed and you are unable to make the changes you desire. Yesterday, I mentioned the fact that I did not use acronyms. The simple reason you are not supposed to use acronyms or excessive acronyms is the fact that acronyms may not be universal. For an acronym, that means ABC, ATL was what? ATL, Akosombo Textiles Limited. In senior high school, ATL meant above the law. And so, how do I say it? Acronyms are not universal. Some of them are universal, but not all of them. And some are specific to certain regions and certain jurisdictions. And so if you are going to send a CV international, and you have a lot of acronyms, they may not understand your CV fully simply because you have used acronyms throughout and they don't understand what they are. Yes. Now, another important point, the fifth point. Now, on your CV, don't include your date of birth. Sometimes they are not concerned about your date of birth, but you have put your date of birth there, and that alone will just turn the employer or the reviewer off. Don't include on a normal day, if you are writing a CV, do not include your date of birth. But I've put an asterisk on it because for sometimes you may have to put your date of birth there. And recently I did an application, and the application is for people who are below 30 years. So if you see a vacancy or an advert or a communique that says that applicants should be less than, and then they quote a year or in an age range, then it means that that application is age sensitive. They are particular about your age. And so for such applications, you can have a date of birth on your CV. That is no problem. But on a normal day, if they are not putting any limit on who should apply, please do not put your date of birth. It's not compulsory to put your date of birth on your CV. Do not write your ethnic identity. Some of these things are very sensitive. Some people may not want to even work with you. They don't know you, they don't know how you look like. But sometimes, because of something, pardon me, let me use an example. A Fanti has done to him or her, the person hates, sorry to say, Fantis. You get it? And so the moment you indicate that ethnicity, Fanti, you've lost the job already. Don't worry. And so please don't bother yourself to put ethnic identity and write ever or whatever. I can. Those things, they are not important on the CV. Don't put it there. Your political affiliation. You see, these are another sensitive matter. For instance, in Ghana, if you are an NDC, you know that NDP people don't like you. And so if your boss or your employer is an NDP person and you have indicated strongly that on your clubs and associations, you are an NDC person or you belong to a particular NDC, how do I call it? A fraternity or a group in NDC, automatically you've lost the job because that person hates NDC or NDP so much. And so you are only going there to work. You are not going there to do politics. And so if you don't intend to go and do politics in that workspace and you mean business, please do not put your political affiliation there. That is one of the reasons I want that when you are writing your how do I mention it? I talked about your affiliations and your associations, your clubs. Don't go and write that you're a member of MPP, a member of NDC. Unless, of course, you are applying for a political position, then that one is fine. But if you are looking for a job, a scholarship, and all those sort of things, please do not indicate any of your political affiliation. The same way with religious preference. These are very sensitive issues. So do not do not put them on your CV. Some people don't like certain religions, and so they will not employ you simply because of that. But if you don't put it on it, you get a chance to be interviewed. So for instance, I don't like Fantis. For example, I don't like Fantis, and I don't know you are a Fanti. Sometimes it's just a general notion. But when your CV is able to convince me and I call you for interview, I may be impressed. You may put me wrong that Fantis are not like this. And by that time, you have the chance to prove yourself in front of the person. But if you put it there, you will not even get a chance to meet the person in the first place. And so some of these things should not be on your CV. Religion, Christianity, no, don't put it there. It's not important. I know you are a faithful person. We are all religious. Don't put it there. It's not important. Hobbies. I'll be showing you something, but that's why I'm laughing. I'll show you. There's another slide I created for bad CVs, and then you list some funny things. The person doesn't care about what you do at your leisure time. Hobbies are what you do at your leisure time, what you do when you are not doing it. They are not important on your CV. So instead of hobbies, replace hobbies with interest so that you can talk about some other things you do outside your normal day or your normal work. So instead of hobbies, replace hobbies with interest. These are things that are common on everyday CV, but for your CV to stand out, please don't put your hobbies there. Replace your hobbies with interest. Marital status. Don't put your marital status there, whether you are grabbed, you are married, you are engaged, divorced. It's not important on the CV. That is not the reason you are there. I remember one of my mates in an interview panel, as part of an interview panel, as an EC. And my mate, I like her. We ended up talking about her relationship stuff, and she said she was not there for relationship issues, and she was frank. And of course, that is not why you are there. So don't even put it there to even raise issues. Your sexual orientation. Yesterday I mentioned it. If you belong to LGBTQ and all those things, don't put it there. They are not important. Your place of birth not important. Photographs is not important. On a typical CV, don't put your picture on your CV unless wherever you are applying to say that put your photograph on your CV. If it is not asked, if no one asks you to put your photograph on your CV, don't do it. It is not needed. Don't put your height, your weight, and your health. All those things are not important on a CV. Things that may tend to be negative or things that people will tend to have issue with it, don't put them on your CV so that they don't scare or they don't scare your employers or your reviewers. Now, I think this is the last don't. Don't write it in a rush. Like I said, you need to take your time. In fact, the first time you write a CV, don't even focus on the outlook. Just push a lot of information. That is one trick about writing. In writing, you need to write whatever comes into mind. Then you take your time to polish it up. There's a quote, I like it. You said you can always edit a bad page, but you can't edit a blank page. What it means is that even if you write and it is bad, you can edit that bad page. But when it is blank, if you don't write anything at all, you can't edit that one. There's nothing to edit. So please make sure that when you are writing a CV, it's not just a day's work. Take your time, write all the info, take your time to arrange them nicely so that you have a very good CV. Don't do it in a rush. Now, the last don't here on this slide is that do not lie about your CV. Be honest. And I'm going to give you a typical example. Just last year, another interview panel I was on, there's a lady who was applying for a secretary position. And she came and she had written that she was a proficient user of Microsoft Office. Then went on to stay Excel. And of course, the job she was applying for, you needed someone who knows how to use Excel. So I said, okay, so how good are you with Excel? He said, oh, very good. She has taken some courses and she has been using it every day. I said, okay. So now that you know how to use it, let me just test you a bit. When you have a number of names, like about 1,000 patients on a PC, and a patient walks in, one patient walks in, and is coming for a review, how would you search for the person's name so that you don't scroll through all the 1,000 names? Then this girl was there, couldn't tell me. Then she was like, okay, so she can't tell me, but she can do it. I said, okay, no problem. We were in the office, so I said, okay, so that's the PC. Then I opened the document for her. It took about 10 minutes, and the girl has told, I mentioned the name, and the girl has still not found the name. And so please, if you don't know how to do something, do not lie on your CV. And I've experienced this because sometimes, someone said, I don't trust you, I trust you. Sometimes, most of the time, the interviews, when you are called for interviews, they happen at the premises of the company. And so if you are saying you know how to do something, you how do I call it? You know how to do something, and they ask you to do it right there, and you fumble. Then they will lose trust. Just like someone is saying, I don't trust you. I don't trust you because sometimes you've done some of these things over and over again, but you guys still keep doing the same stuff. That's why I don't trust you. So please be honest. Don't lie. If there's a skill you are putting there you think you are not good at, please do not do that. I remember another funny one. That one was also an interview panel. I think that one was also in school when I was an EC. This person wrote that languages. He wrote English, French, Spanish. Imagine. And so he came, and a member of the panel asked him that, how do you say welcome in Spanish? This guy doesn't know. How do you say good morning in Spanish? This guy doesn't know. So what is it that makes you write Spanish on your CV? You get it? So if you don't know how to speak Spanish, don't put on your CV that you know how to speak Spanish. For all you know, the person who is interviewing you knows how to speak that language you are lying about. And so be very, very, very honest about your CV. Today I'm rushing because I'll allow you to ask questions. Before the thank you message, let me quickly share another slide with you so that I will welcome your questions for the evening. Then we wrap it up. Let me share this slide with you so that I'll point out some of the things I'm talking about. Please, can you all see the slide I have shared? Is anyone seeing? If you can see, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Yes, please.
So these are things I picked.
Yeah.
It's just for teaching purpose. So if you see it's for you, don't worry. It's just for teaching. Your name will not appear. Yeah. So I just picked it from some of the CVs I've been reviewing. And here I've written bad profile. Bad profile because let's try and read the profile. Yesterday I talked about profile a lot. This person starts with I am. Yesterday I told you that don't be using personal pronouns in personal profile. But even that one, let's pardon the person. So the person says, I am an industrious, determined, well-organized person who is used to work. So you see here, there's a grammatical error here. This is what we've been talking about. So who is used to work on my own initiative? So who is used to working on my own initiative? So when I begin to see some of these sentence construction, then you are painting yourself a little bit below how I see you. Now, I'm able to prioritize my workload and comfortable working on my own or as a member of a team. I'm able to work under pressure. You see, the reason I picked this is not even about the construction of the sentences. It's about the whole thing. It's about 3 sentences, which is fine. Like yesterday, I said that your profile should not be more than 3 sentences. But if you look after reading this, the question is, who is this person? You can't answer. What does this person do? You cannot answer. And so I'm only seeing adjectives talking about soft skills and all that, but I don't know who this person is. Yesterday I showed you the girl's the girl's profile I saw on LinkedIn. He said he's an experienced film editor. That should begin. But this person has finished writing his or her profile, but I don't know the kind of pretend whether this person is a student, this person is a worker, this person is a volunteer. I don't know anything about this person. It just lines, words there. And this one, I will not, yesterday, one of the things that a personal profile does is that it prompts you, because it's at the top, it prompts you to find out more about the person. This one, I'll not be prompted to find out more because I don't even know what I'm going to find on that CV. So this is a bad profile. And this is very common with many of us. We just use adjectives. Ambitious, blah, 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 without detail. They are not specific. That's why I picked it. So that when you are writing your profile, you don't write something similar like this. Now, I picked another thing about how poor formatting looks like. I've been talking about layout and all that. You see, this person is writing about education and qualifications, but comes here to write institution, all right. Comes here to write BSc agriculture, all right, dates. So all the, oh, these people today are disturbing us. All the features that we want on a CV and education, they are here. But look at the format, very bad. They are too spaced out. You don't need to write the institution because we know Kwame Nkrumah is an institution already. We know BH Agriculture is a program, so you don't need to put these headings there. We know that 2016 to 2020 is a date. So this heading here was in the first place not necessary. And the formatting is bad. Maybe you don't understand. Let me quickly share the other one, what I showed you yesterday, so that you understand why I say it is bad. And then you compare. You compare to see that it is actually bad. Yes, so let's quickly go and see education. Yes, so look at someone's education. Please, can you all see the slide?
Yes, please, we can see that.
Yes. So look at how someone has organized his education here. Look at how neat it is, well spaced out, everything on point. You get it? And then another person has done that. And so if you are a reviewer and you are an employer and you have these two people, who would you be picking? And I know you have your answer. And so please don't write date, program, institution. Look at the formats I just showed you and do likewise. These are not, it shouldn't be so. These ones are for, if let's say a JHS person wants to write a CV, let the person write like this. Not us. We are beyond that. Now, this person wants to, sorry, I have titled them bad experience, and because they are bad. Experience and skills. This person wants to tell us his experience, his work experience and skills. Graphic designer. What has graphic designer done? It does not say anything. Which year did you do it? You see, it does not follow the format. Excel and Word Pro. What has it done? 3D animator. What has it done? 3 months poetry experience. So this person wants to say he has some experience in poetry. But you see, that is not what we are looking at. So the 3 months poetry experience, what we should see is that what poetry firm did you have the experience with? Now, what period, the 3 months, from what month to what month, which year did you do that? Should come out clearly. And then the experience you are talking about, what experience are you talking about? Is it with feeding the, I also have a poetry experience. Some time ago, I was a poetry farmer. Yeah, so is it with feeding the chicks or cleaning their thing? So what experience are you talking about here? 3 months greenhouse experience. You get it? So please, you shouldn't be using this format. If you do something like this, it's bad. In the last slide, then I welcome your questions. This person wants to list awards and prizes. And you see, BSc Agriculture, you have already listed this under your education. So this is not an award. If maybe at the point of graduation, you want the best students in your class or in your year group or in the whole faculty or in the whole university, fine, you state it. But BSc Agriculture is not an award or a prize. West Africa, your WASI, you have already stated that already. BAS. So you see this person, if you submit this CV, all the first 3 things he has mentioned, they are all not awards and they are all not prizes. So I'm seeing one here, best agriculture student, 2019-2020. And you see, this is a very good student. Who is the best agriculture student? But look at the kind of CV the person is presenting. And that is why we advise, sometimes when we say it, you think maybe we are being too hard on you. Sometimes you can be the best in your class, you can be very good academically, but you still struggle finding job because you have a bad CV. So you can be best agricultural student, but produce a CV like this, and this CV will not go anywhere. All these things, what do they mean? They don't mean anything, and they have cited as outside the classroom training is an award. You see, it's at least if you don't know all these, I know all of us know OTC is what we are having. How can OTC be an award? And so please, let's note that let's do the right things. I'll be sharing the slides with you, and then we do the appropriate stuff. Now you can raise your hand if you have questions. We have 5 minutes left, but maybe you have another session in case you have questions. If you don't have questions, we will end it. But I believe there are a number of questions. And so if this session goes quick, please rejoin again, then you have the last one. It's 8:12. We have about 18 minutes more. Yeah, so please, your questions are welcome. You can raise your hand and then you go on to speak. If you are shy and don't want to speak, don't be shy. We are family. All the participants here are all USO members, so don't be shy. That's why I'm not shy with all of you. Yeah, so please don't be shy. I see someone's hand up. Who is that? Let me check quickly. Okay, so if your hand is up, please speak. If you have a question, you can please ask. We have 18 minutes.
Hello, Doc.
Yes,
please.
Good evening.
Hello, Doc. Please, can you hear me, please?
Yes, please. I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. My question is, assuming the work that you are going to like speak or you are searching and your CV doesn't contain the qualities they want. So in this, Doc, what are you going to do with the thing? That's my question. Thank you very much.
Please, I didn't get the question. Please come again. Sorry.
Okay, Doc. Yes. I said assuming the work or the job, please can I speak?
Yeah, please go on.
Okay, my question is, assuming the job I'm going to speak or the job I'm getting, and my CV doesn't contain the qualities they are looking for. In this case, doc, like, what am I going to do with the CV? Like, that's my question. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So let me see, 3 minutes. Okay, I think I can answer that. So if you are going to apply for a job and you think your work experiences and your skills do not match the job, sometimes you can, if you have a very good CV, if definitely you have a CV, you can still try your luck, but do not be highly expectant. But at all costs, you can some way, somehow tailor your CV to match the job they are asking for, if it's within your field. For instance, if today you should see a job to employ optometrist, and you are not an optometrist. Let's say you are a physics person or a physicist or a biological science person. That one, because you are not an optometrist, you don't go on to apply at all, because that work you cannot do. But if you believe it's a work you can do and you still have a very good layout CV that does not even match the skills they are looking for, please try your luck. And then, because the CV is of a good format and is of a good format, you may be considered. But before you submit any CV, that's something I forgot to mention. Please make sure that the CV is being worked on to suit that particular offer that you are seeing. So sometimes you can go and do a bit of research about the company. You can find out more information about the company and then what they require, so that you suit your CV to that application. And so we do not have one fit all type of CV. And you are one CV. Ghana Water Company for obi a na watam na de kɔ. The same CV for engineer for nso pɛ obi a na asan the same CV na asan de kɔ. If you tend to do that, it will not be relevant to, or if it qualifies for position A, it will not qualify you for position B. So make sure you work on your CV every time before you submit it, and make sure it is tailored to your how do I call it, to the offer. That is what I would have to say. Let it match what they are asking for. If you don't have the skills, please still go ahead and apply. There's no harm in trying. All right, so at this point, I saw 2 more hands up. I don't know who you are, but please, because it's less than 1 minute, let the 10 end. Let the 10 quit. Let's take a rest. Let the 10 quit so that we rejoin. So that I can drink some water.